Scholars, welcome to your Monday Lit class. This is your last Monday class of the year, and that's actually your second to last class of the year. You've got one lesson tomorrow, which is going to be kind of just an end of year reflection um, on your year and your goals, and then it's also kind of reflection on, you know, what's coming up, what you hope to is coming up in the future for you. So tomorrow's is going to be a reflective writing prompt. And so today is our last day where we have a reading to dive into. Let's take a look at the turn-in rates. A little bit up, a little bit up. I'll definitely take a plus over a minus. I just wish it was a bigger plus. Let's take a look at our grit list. The grit list was longer, was quite a bit longer today than it was on Friday. Some names I know that I added to today's Daylin. I think I added Alexandra. Ava was added. Ashley. Oh, let me stop hiding you there, Tiara. There you are. G-Ray, Ashley, and Tiara were added. Tiara, I'm sorry. There it is. There. So welcome to the grit list. I'm glad that you guys are here today. Let's take a look at some. We're going to look at. I challenged you on Friday to practice this new thing called embedding evidence, which is when you just smoothly throw quotes in from the story in with your own thinking and your own explanations. This is a kind of advanced skill, and I would like to highlight Joao and Daylin's excellent first attempts at this. So, again, when you embed evidence, you're kind of combining your context, explaining what happened, with your analysis of what are your thoughts on what happened or what the characters are doing. You kind of do it just all flowing together. So here's Joal's. He said, I think Rachel is characterized as thoughtful because instead of focusing on growing older on her birthdays, she focuses on how many years are added to yourself, like being 5 when you're 11. Now he's going into context. When it's Rachel's birthday, she wanted to feel 11, but instead, she felt like all her years in one combined year. When Rachel put more thought into the statement, she realized that they don't, and see how he zips straight into the quote. Very smooth, Joao. She realized that they don't understand birthdays and they never tell you. And what they never tell you is that when you're 11, you're also 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Joao, when I first saw this quote that you put, I felt like it was too long. But now that when I really dove into it, I understand this one had to be long because you wanted to show all the and to get to your point about how she feels like being 11 is a combination of all those years before. So I'm actually okay with how long this quote is because it kind of had to be to prove your point because she needs to cry in her mother's lap when she feels 5. This highlights that Rachel is thoughtful because instead of just putting her thoughts inside, she put some thought into it so it would make more sense. Good analysis, Joao. But the push was for 2 pieces of evidence. You gave me 1, but it was still good, so I wanted to highlight it. Here's Daylin's. She's going to argue that Rachel is shy. Rachel is shy because she doesn't always speak up for herself, and she lets people boss her around and talk for her. When she does talk, it's quiet or in her mind. This one should have been a period, Daylin. Daylin, once you get flowing, you start to kind of combine your sentences. I do this too sometimes, so you got to pause to see where you can separate your thoughts into different sentences. At this point in the story, now Daylin's giving context now too. At this point in the story, Mrs. Price has put a sweater on Rachel's desk, and Rachel opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Really smooth incorporation. Good embedding, Daylin. And she is so nervous she can't handle but to just mumble, "That's not, I don't, you're not mine." She doesn't have the courage to speak up and say things to the teacher. She is a shy person. You can tell by her words and the way that she talks quietly. Good analysis, Daylin. Really smooth embedding of those quotes into your own writing. Good job. Real quick, the answers to your multiple choice, yep, was B. How does the speaker describe growing up? It's as if you carry all your previous years with you as you got older. And the best evidence for that was the one from Joao's. You feel like you're 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, that's showing all those previous years. And the answer for number 2 was D. She believes it belongs to Rachel. A lot of people picked A, which I spelled wrong, which needs 2 R's. She wants to embarrass Rachel. It's you could assume that. You could make an inference, but there's really no strong evidence for that. The clear evidence was for the fact that she believes it belongs to Rachel. This gets to my feedback for the day. My feedback for the day today is don't pick answers that simply feel right. Your selection needs to have clear supporting evidence. Sometimes they give these options that feel right, or that they're trying to confuse you, or they want you to pick, but there's not really a strong evidence for it. Make sure the options that you pick on multiple choice have a really clear evidence that supports it. This is going to be important feedback for today because you only have multiple choice questions for today. Okay. So I gave you the same questions as 1 and 2. Go ahead, guys. Also, make sure that when you pick your answer, you're just highlighting it right here on the side. You can pick the color that you want, but just highlight your option on the side. Don't do it. Don't do it in the text or anything, because that's hard to grade or to see what your thinking is. So just highlight which options you want to do. So redo 1 and 2. Number 3, this is a new one. So based on this highlighted section right here, what is this showing about Rachel? Make sure there's evidence for it. And after your reading, you have 3 multiple choice questions. Part A asked you which of these themes comes out in this reading, and then um, Part B, there are which quote best supports the answer that you pick. So part A is connected to part B. Part A, you pick the theme, and then part B, you pick the quote that really shows that theme. And then you have one more multiple choice question right here, which asks you to really break down this phrase right here about how growing old is like an onion. Okay, take your time, highlight your answer selections, make sure you got evidence for it. All right. Um, all right. Last reading of the year. Dive into it, do your best, and show out. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.